Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with the man Frank SCALISH, coming off of a monumental show.
A monumental show.
We're back with a little bloviation on a Thursday morning.
Yes, sometimes you just need to talk.
Rumor on the street is that you're able to put one of the new iCast releases to work yesterday, Frank. You actually, I called you because we have to record a show after this for next Thursday because I'll be up at Lake Champlain, which, man, just a real grinder tournament. No real fish in that lake on a real downturn. Going to be real tough to put 5 in the boat.
Are you kidding me?
It's just a shame that they put that Bass Nation Regional. That the pro circuit's up there right now, but on just such a bad fishery.
Yeah, aren't they getting like hurricanes?
Yeah, they didn't practice much. I'm obviously joking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Obviously joking there, but no, looking forward to that. But I'll be on the water there, so we'll have a recorded show next week. But we are live July. I was doing some stats because we're like halfway through the year. Basically, we are further. I believe we're further into 2026 than we like. There's less 2026, less. We're over halfway through the year, I guess is the easiest way to say that.
Can you believe how fast this year went?
No, technically, if you think about it, the older you get, it's like, oh, time flies. Like, you remember when you were younger? Like, I remember when I was younger, like when we were going fishing or going like to Canada specifically, like the drives felt like forever. And like the days leading up to going felt like forever. Well, technically, they are longer than they are now because as you get older, you have more time under your belt. So then that's less of a percentage that you've been alive. So if you're like 8, a week seems like a month.
Yeah.
But as you get older, a month feels like a week because you have more time under your belt. So relatively speaking, it is less percentage of your life for a longer duration of time.
Okay. Okay, dude.
You know what I'm saying though? That's why it seems that's why the older you get, the faster time seems to move.
Yeah, and it flies, dude. I'm beside myself that it's already almost August. Like
you had a good year though, I feel like you had like last year wasn't you didn't have a fantastic year last year fishing wise. Like you had a good year, but this year I feel like you've had a really good productive year on the water.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing. I haven't been on the water as much this year just because I've been so busy with stuff.
Yeah.
And so this year feels like I hardly fished. And you know what I mean? Because I'm probably they sped up this.
Matthew there said Travis Manson said they sped up the simulation. Our good buddy over there at Smallmouth Crush guide on
you gotta love
Thousand Islands in the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
Anyway,
one of the best smallmouth.
But this year we had the shows where some of the new products came out, and yesterday I talked to you. You're actually on the water, and you're like, dude, new cheat code unlocked.
Yeah, the gadget worm by Yum is for real, boys and girls. I was not amazed, but I figured it would be like no different than a finesse worm or a trick worm, but that is absolutely false. It has some really interesting movement to it. It lends itself extremely well to Nico, to Ned rigging, even light shaky heading because that worm wants to stay vertical. And it moves a lot. And I am really, it's impressive. And I literally, me and my buddy, we trashed him on it. We absolutely trashed him on it.
Kind of fishing stuff, just like in the video that I'm showing now. It kind of sounds like grass edges, things like that.
Yeah, exactly like what that video is showing. Exactly like what that video is showing. And it's really, and here, you want to know something that surprised me more than anything? The durability of the worm. Like, okay, so like when I fish, the Nico style with a finesse worm or a trick worm or a dinger, they always break in half after a couple of fish, or where you put the tab, the split ring or the tab, they always split by the tab. This thing, I probably caught 10 or 12 fish on it before I put a new one on. And the only reason I put the new one on was because it was looking too chewed up for me, because I didn't have to change it. It wasn't ripped or torn, which was amazing to me. I was afraid I was going to have the worm break in half like regular pours do, and then I was going to lose my insert weight and and the tab, the split ring thing, and I was just like, what? It was so good, and now I'm really excited to try it out with different things.
Yeah, I rarely throw a shaky head anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Right.
I would say, regardless of whether you're bank fisherman, forward facing, no forward facing, where you are in the country, unless you're in like matted vegetation, there's really, I mean, a Nico pretty much is designed to work in any scenario: current, non-current, natural, man-made, high pressure, no pressure.
Right, and here you
small fish, big fish.
Right, and here, well, that's exactly right. I mean, you don't know if you're catching one this big or this big, but you know what the weird thing was? I was going to rig it a different way to make it 100% weedless because of the amount of vegetation, and I said, no, I'm going to try it straight out open hook like normal. 1,000% surprised at how snag resistant in the grass that thing really is with a open hook, which leads me to the next show we're going to do. I'm going to tease it right now. The next show we're going to do is grass identification, underwater grass identification, and this is really important. And this is really why it came through so good, is because you have to recognize the grass that you're fishing, and we'll do that. That'll be the next show, because it's going to be a little bit detailed, even though it's kind of a recap, but it's not a recap. But I'm really impressed with that gadget worm. I'm actually gonna get it and throw it on a light Carolina rig too.
Texas rig it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, that would work. It kind of replaces an old school jig head worm that a lot of guys in Minnesota and the guys up north threw, which is basically a threaded on shaky head with a light 16th or 8th ounce weight that you throw on the grass edges. You kind of get it stuck and then pop it free.
Yes, like how I fish the Ned rig with the 5-inch dinger.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's exactly how
that replaces it.
I see how it does. My buddy was throwing the Ned dinger, the Ned with the 5-inch dinger, and that thing was outperforming it by a lot.
The other place where it shines is when you're on a minnow bite and you're having the fish that are getting up behind the minnow and following it up. And then when you drop it, they're following your minnow down and you're trying to get them to bite it.
But
a lot of those fish will follow the Nico. You put it over their head just like a minnow. Sometimes, boom, they'll eat it as it goes up. But if you're getting them on that roller coaster where you can drop it, they'll come up, you drop it. We're not talking about like just dropping it straight below them, but like once you get them on the leash, they're coming up, they're dropping it. And then, boom, you open your bail about 8 feet from it and you get that fish down there on the Nico. And then it's down there on the bottom, just standing straight up quivering, whereas the minnows just lay in there like a freaking turd on its side. That thing's up there, and then they commit to that way more, especially when they're wanting to go down on the minnow but not commit to it.
Yeah, 100%. I like the worm. I'm really I want to talk to them about adding some colors to it.
And here's the thing on it. So yes, it is a pain in the ass to rig because you have to have the band, the 5mm band, or a band or whatever, those pliers, specific Nico hook, the weight in the nose. I mean, it takes a couple minutes to rig, but I mean, for like $20, you're all in on it, and it lasts a long time.
Yeah, the thing that I liked is when I hooked up, the worm would slide up the hook shank and up the line.
Mm-hmm.
and stay
Did you
out of
use
the
the
way.
5? Did you get the 5 mil bands?
Yeah,
You like
absolutely.
those?
You love them.
You see what I mean? How it traps the hook.
Yeah, it's money. I only had 2 instances where the worm rolled over the hook point,
And that's just
but that's
the
because I
nature
had
of the
to.
beast.
Yeah, that's because I was aggressively popping it out of the grass so it wouldn't snag up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many did you catch total?
Over 32. I stopped counting at 32, but we only caught a few more after that because we had to roll.
Not giant, just solid fish.
Yeah, just solid fish. No giants. The lake hasn't been giving up really big fish as of late, which is disturbing to me because that was one of my go-to places to get, between 18 and 24 pounds. And it's just not doing it right now.
What colors do you want to add into it?
I want GB Haze and I want Green Pumpkin Blue.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, they've got a bunch of different
Yeah, Mudbug I really like it a lot because it's got microflake in it. Now it's not plastered with metallic. It's got little
Mudberry?
No, Mudbug.
Cinder, electric bound. Moss bug?
I mean
Moss
bug.
Okay.
Moss bug. What the hell? I'm a lunatic, dude. Moss bug.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah, you can't zoom it up. I tried. I tried to zoom in on it.
Oh, you can see there's a little bit of flake in there, though.
It's micro blue, and it's beautiful, and it's a 2-tone bait.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a muddy brown and a dirty watermelon.
Are you a believer that flake becomes important the more water clarity and light penetration you have?
Well, here's what I know. Like I never understood why they put black flake in watermelon. But your dark flakes like black, purple, and blue reflect UV light. So it offers a small amount of flash. And I'm a firm believer, but I don't like a lot of metallic in my bait. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want the bait like super metallic-y. Like even my June bugs that I prefer don't have as much flake in them as like if I put the hook through and I'm poking metal flake, it bums my head out.
So like that has a lot of flake in it. That's
ghillie suit.
See, like I like that flake in it because especially if it's sunny.
And here, ghillie suit's a big seller, and it's probably not my favorite color.
Huh.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but it sells.
And that's in all plastics too. Like you're going to talk of like a craw, a Carolina rig, a creature bait, a Christie critter.
Yep.
Any of that. You're not a huge, hard, big, flashy flake guy.
No, I want it subtle. I want subtle flash, not vibrant flash. I've always been that way. And so I kind of gravitate towards smaller flake, more sparse flake. I'll say this: the June bug's tricky because Yum's June bug has a lot of flake, and Zoom's June bug has a lot of flake.
Yep.
But with this worm here, the flake in the June bug is smaller flake, so I like it better. That's the difference. And it's a personal preference. You know how we talk a lot about confidence?
Yep.
That's really what it is. It's confidence.
Yeah.
Like if I'm fishing Bama Magic, I want the blue swirls to look a certain way. So sometimes like I'll even go through bags and I'll pick out the ones I like the best, and those will be my money bags. You know what I mean? Like when I was fishing tournaments all the time, I had the only thing that was in my boat during the tournament was my A++ stashes. In practice, I threw the B stuff, the B's and the C's, the stuff that might have had too much of this or not enough of that. I threw that stuff just to get the bites. Which the irony of it all is I caught them on both. That's the irony of it. But in my head, I had to be throwing my A++ stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. So the interesting thing is I have not really experimented a lot with the Nicoing of like the merthiolate colors. or the cinder colors or the pink or anything like that. Like my Nico, if it's a Nico bite, I'll have two colors that I'll start out with. One's a green pumpkin with the chartreuse tip on the tail, and then the other's a dark purple.
Yeah, and so
a light one or a dark one. But
yes.
I throw the drop shot, I throw a robo worm, I throw the finesse worm all the time in a morning dawn and merthiolate color, an orange and a pink and all that. So I don't know why it wouldn't work in the Nico.
Right. And I don't either, but I kind of lean towards your mentality on that. I want more natural, more subdued colors in it. And that's just, again, Matt, I think it's just confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're going to fish it with more paying attention if you believe you're going to get the bite on it than if you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday was a great. The friend of mine that I fished with is a good fisherman and he loves it. And the tricky part with him was being offshore, because I know what we're fishing. I know how it lays. I know what I'm fishing. So I would tell him, I'd go, B, you got to throw over here. You got to throw that way. It goes like this. It's shaped like that. You know what I mean? But for the person in the back of the boat not to have the graph vision of what you're fishing is very tricky. And so I could sense that he was into it, but not into it. And so then what happened was we started snagging certain vegetations, and I said, see, and I would tell him what it was. This is coontail. This is milfoil. This is eelgrass. This is sago pondweed. Thanks for pulling that up last week. And when we'd get the sago, we'd be like, we're out of here. You know what I mean? We're out. We're gone, because I haven't caught bass in that crap. Now, if it's mixed with coontail or it's mixed with milfoil, you can catch bass out of it. But when it's by itself, I can't catch bass out of it. And I'm not 100% sure why. I don't know what the bass don't like about this vegetation, but I'm starting to find it everywhere, and it's starting to bum my head out. Just a side note.
It's got to has to have something to do with either how it feels on the bass's skin or moves underwater.
Yeah, maybe it gets caught. Maybe the filaments from that grass get caught in their gills. Who knows?
Or the microorganisms don't get any nutrition from it, so therefore they don't get on it, which doesn't start the circle of life, which then brings the bait fish and the crawfish and stuff to eat it. Or it's doing something with oxygen depletion to where the areas where there's less likely to be bass. I mean, those would be off the top of my head, my three.
Yeah, I have no clue. I want to research it and find out.
Or it only grows on a certain type of bottom that the bass don't like.
Well, see, that was my first thought, except that when I run into it and it's in mixed vegetation patches. Just Googled it, and that grass stinks. Well, yeah, it does stink when you take it out of the water. You could smell it. It almost smells like onions. And nobody likes Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I love Brussels sprouts. That's my favorite. If I had to pick one side dish, it's Brussels sprouts, bar none, end of discussion.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not a.
You're not a Brussels sprouts guy.
No, I could eat them if they're lightly breadcrumbs. You know how they put breadcrumbs on them and bake them and get them all brown.
Yeah,
I could eat them like that, but I can't eat them any other way.
How else do people eat them?
I don't know.
That's, I think, the only way people eat them.
No, you could steam them. There's a million ways.
Oh no, steamed Brussels sprouts. No,
I can't eat anything that smells like food.
An apple maple bacon glaze.
Now see, I could smash that.
Yeah, so I toss them. So you get your Brussels sprouts, fresh Brussels sprouts. You cut the hard part off of the bottom if you got the real Brussels sprouts, and then you halve them.
Yeah, okay.
And then you take a quarter stick of butter and you melt it, and then you put the Brussels sprouts in a 1 gallon Ziploc like you're about to bread fish. So you just have the Brussels sprouts in there, the halved Brussels sprouts. Then you pour the melted butter into the Ziploc and shake it so you get a coat of butter on them. Then you have the coat of butter on, and then you put steak seasoning, whatever your favorite steak seasoning is.
Okay, I can see that.
And put the steak seasoning on them. I put then a little bit of minced garlic in there and shake it all up to where they're really coated. And then you get bacon up, which is purified bacon grease. Like when you melt it, it's completely clear, right?
Okay.
And you get that going, and then you individually align them all down in a cast iron skillet with the bacon up in there. And you sear them on one side, then you flip them individually with tongs, sear them on the other side, but only for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. You don't want the whole thing to get soggy. You just want to get a nice brown crust on them. And then you take them out, you throw them in a big pan, and then you get a glaze. A blueberry bourbon is another really good glaze for it. And you take the glaze, take a spoonful, it's like jam or jelly basically, put it into that and start tossing it, and then it'll slowly melt and coat the Brussels sprouts as the heat of the Brussels sprouts melt the jam. And then you keep that cast iron on, clean it out a little, and then just get a nice little crunch on them after that, and then you're good to go.
Them, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm tracking.
Phenomenal. They should taste like a little meaty when you get them done. Like it should be a hearty meat with like a nice, but you're also then caramelizing them so that you're not getting like a sweet candy flavor.
Gotcha. Do you got to flambe the bourbon out of it, or it's not a hard bourbon?
No, it's literally like a jam, like a blueberry bourbon jam.
All right. Because everybody likes the flambe.
Yeah, no, you could do that. I'm not into that. I can get you can order it. I can't remember. It's something Farms that has all the best glazes for it.
Perfect.
And then you can do like just a light coat of like Parmesan and then some of the cracked pepper on top.
Yeah, I tried a little balsamic glaze on a steak last week. And it was good, but it was too balsamic vinegary. I don't like. My problem when I eat steak is I want to taste the steak.
Exactly.
And so I put nothing on my steaks. Well, I don't mean I don't season them. I season them, but I don't put any. Like I'm not a steak sauce guy.
No.
The only thing that goes on my steak is mushrooms. And
mushroom and onion sauteed.
Yeah, and I won't do the onions, but I'll saute the mushrooms in olive oil, butter, and put salt, pepper, thyme, rosemary, and a little bit of garlic in them.
And then you get a sear on them, or you just like soften?
Yeah, dude, I brown them up a little bit.
Yeah. I grew up like that. My dad did that, but then he would also throw a couple handfuls of chopped onions in there and then sweat those out also as well. So you have like a little mushroom and onion on the side. White
or yellow because you want the sweeter mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, red
he
onions.
Would do Vidalia.
Yeah. Red onions. Like I'll do the red onion and tomato salad.
That's a zero. That I would rather eat a pound of livers from Chicken Express than.
Yeah, no. I'm out on the liver.
What would you put the red onion in? Tomato soup?
No, tomatoes. You dice tomatoes up, dice red onion.
Red onion?
Oh man.
And then sear it?
No, salt, pepper, oil, and vinegar. It's a salad.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, that sounds awful, Frank. And
it's not
tomatoes.
It's not, and I hate onions. So there you have it.
I hate onions too, unless used properly.
Yeah.
Have I ever made my magic onion for you? Well, it's not mine. It's actually Brad Hallman's magic onion. But anytime,
how's Brad doing, man?
He's good. He just was at the. Whoa, there goes the pen. He was just at the. At the no, God no, that would require being around fishing. He's at the. It was at the World Series, College World Series.
Oh, sweet.
Now I got a group chat with him and Dan O'Sullivan, who's also in the industry and works, and we have a Sooners football little group chat, so he'll chime in.
Perfect.
Every now and then. But anyway, he does this magic onion. You need to try this next time. So you can put it on a burger. You can put it as a side on a steak. You can do whatever. So you start out with a big yellow onion.
Okay.
And you get the hard part off of the side, but you're keeping it as a whole. And then you just cut the top eighth of it off of the top.
Okay.
And then you cut it into sixth. So you go boom.
Yeah,
boom,
I know
boom.
what you mean. So it.
Yep. And then you pull it over, and then you take a spoon and you dig out the little middle chunk that comes. So you basically have a bowl. Then you wrap that thing in foil with a big top on it, and then you kind of pull the onion apart, heavily season it with your steak seasoning.
Okay.
Then you take a quarter stick or a half stick of butter, and you put it in that little hole of the onion. So you've got a lot of seasoning in there, that butter, and then you close it really tight. And then as soon as you turn the grill on, you just set it in the back corner.
And just leave it.
And then you leave it while everything warms up. You leave it while it preheats. You leave it while you leave it while you cook your steaks. You do all that stuff. And then when it comes off, you have this soft, buttery, sauteed, seasoned onion that then comes out in chunks that you can put on bratwurst, you can put on burgers, you can use as a side to your steak. And it's all infused in its own juices and the butter, and it's been in there for 45 minutes or an hour. And it's a cheat code. Like Brad would do it for every single meal, and I do it now as well.
Outstanding.
It takes like 3 minutes to do.
Yeah, it doesn't seem complicated. That's good. I like it. So what are we doing? Food Talk Live next?
I don't know. We've done 251 of those. What do you want to relate it to fishing? When I'm on a fishing trip, when we're doing shore lunch.
We do the magic onion.
Here's a grass-related question. He said, here on Lake Norman, there's a ton of vegetation growing on sandbars due to the drought. Lake is down 7+ feet. Any chance that vegetation stays when the lake eventually comes up?
Well, it depends what kind of grass it is. Norman, several years ago, Norman was getting good grass, mostly by the dam area, and last time I was there, it was mostly gone. I don't know if they're treating the lake or what they're doing to it. I have no earthly idea, but if Norman ever got grass, that would be one of the next destination places. I'm just telling you.
Okay, so let's hypothetically say that it's land-based grass, like grass that grows on dry stuff. It's not intended by God when he created it to be underwater. What happens, say, if the lake comes up 7 feet, that grass would be like, how long does that take? Will there be a period where the bass flood it because it's green and green equals energy and stuff like that? Or will it just like start rotting?
It's got to die. If it's not made to be underwater, it's going to die. But the thing with grass like lawn grass,
yeah,
I've seen bass use it in flooding and high water episodes that you can't believe. Like, they love cut grass. They love mowed lawns, but that grass is never underwater long enough for it to die back because it's only on high water episodes. Flooding, does that grass get underwater? I don't know what it is about it. The bass love that. I have no idea what it is about it. But if you ever encounter high water episodes and there's guys with steep banks that are mowed and taken care of, you need to 100% go there and fish those because the bass use them. And I don't know if it's because all the night crawlers and earthworms that live in the roots of the grass, that when the water comes up, they all start slithering out, coming out, trying so they don't die. I don't know what it is, but they love mowed lawns, and it's ridiculous. I mean, you would think, throwing a buzzbait by a dude's picnic table, and then all of a sudden, it's unbelievable how they like it. But no, I don't think that grass is going to survive. But if it is the grass that was growing there, and I don't think it was hydrilla, but it might have been. But last time I was on Norman, it was virtually gone. So
I typed in grass on Lake Norman, and it's just a bunch of manicured lawns.
Of course it is. With the $7 million homes that dot the lake.
Yeah.
And boathouses to match.
Do you need some edging around your helipad?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'll be honest with you, when Troy and I first started fishing Lake Norman, most of the lake was little rundown cabins, and most of it was natural bank.
Dude, that's how I feel about Grand now.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I'm getting old, because you go to stretches that you're like, this was good, and you're like, when the hell did this dock system get put in here? And there's marinas and stuff, and
dude, they're elaborate. Like some of the docks on Lake Norman, they're like miniature houses. Like they look like their house, only it's on the water. You know what I mean? And it's elaborate. Like it's elaborate.
Yeah. For like those who have never been there, like this is kind of the stuff we're talking about.
Yes.
Like, hey, I think we should just have 3 of us on a giant peninsula, and then, hey, let's add a gigantic docks. Like, but look at the dock systems that they just put out there. I mean, those are multi-million-dollar dock systems and multi-million-dollar houses on it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of money.
If you could get up there, you know that's dug out so all those boats could get in there. Look at that shade underneath that back one right there.
Yeah, dude.
And you can tell based on that's dug out, so the chances are that's a little bit deeper right there. You got a freaking walkway, you got the whole deal here. You know you're on a point that goes back into it, and then you've got that. That's a great place for a Nico.
Yeah, that's a great place for a jig.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, God almighty, I've been fishing that lake for so many years, and the changes that have taken place on it are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey, I agree, Joe.
If you had to fish, so like there's some places, like Lake of the Ozarks is a great example. There's certain areas that like you can't put docks in, but then there's other 90% of that lake has docks. But Bull Shoals, great example in that, as opposed to like a Table Rock at that. Like if you had choice, like you've got, let's say they're equal fisheries, Frank, like they're both the same caliber of fishery.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather fish something that has no man-made structure in it, docks, bridges, marinas, that type of stuff, or would you rather fish a fishery that has a lot of docks, a lot of man-made stuff? Now, assume the boat traffic is the same. Let's do like a fall day where there's no boats out there. Would you rather be no man-made stuff, or would you rather be lots of man-made stuff on the lake?
Wow, that's a great question, man. I think the man-made stuff is easier to dissect. It's very predictable. Once you start to pattern where those fish are at on which type of man-made element, you can narrow it down and you could do some damage. I think lakes without any man-made are a little bit trickier to fish, but they're both interesting to me, and I like them both. So I can't say yay or nay. If the boat traffic is identical, I can't say yay or nay on either one of them. If no man-made stuff means no boat traffic, I'm all about it.
But no boat traffic on either. Like we're talking like one of those days where you're like, oh man, like I'm on the lake.
And, shoot.
I'm choosing man-made if I'm not from there.
Yeah.
If I live there and I know I'm going to have a lot of time on the lake, I'm going to choose no man-made structure. But if I'm dumping the boat in and I'm looking to catch fish and get on some stuff fast, I'm 100% choosing the lake that has more docks, pinch points, rip wraps, marinas, stuff like that.
Absolutely agree.
Absolutely.
It just makes fishing so much more predictable, and you have more options. Because here's what I've noticed: even on lakes like man-made. Well, okay, so like we talked about Norman, okay. Everybody knows Norman's got 500 billion boat docks on it, and you could any time of year you could go fish them. And it's me and Troy proved it a million times over.
We just saw it in the MPFL too.
Yeah, you could in the middle of summer, in the middle of winter, you could be catching them on boat docks. The other thing that's nice about it is you could also go offshore and catch them. And so if you don't want to fish the docks and you don't want to fish the man-made stuff, you could find plenty of fish offshore. So it kind of offers you the best of both worlds. And in an emergency situation, in a tournament situation, the man-made stuff is going to give you key fish, because if you need a bite or you need a couple of bites, you'll have places to go get those bites. Where on a lake with no man-made cover at all on it, you have to be dialed in. There's no, okay, well, if stuff's going awry, we could go to these 3 docks and catch fish. And so in your back pocket, if you need emergency bites, you got them. Where on a lake with no man-made cover, you have to be dialed in on the pattern to be able to go somewhere and catch them, because they're not everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
Do you like fishing like, brush piles that someone put in there, or state brush piles? That's a question from Mark here. He said, do you like fishing man-made structures offshore?
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming cane piles, porcupine,
old foundations,
cribs, brush piles. Like, would you rather fish like a natural rock ledge with that stuff, or how do you approach it different if like on Grand Lake, like a lot of man-made piles on it, a lot of pallets, a lot of stuff like that, as opposed to some other places where you go where it's like just a natural rock striation that comes up, or a waterlogged branch, or this old stump from when they first filled the lake?
Yeah, I look for a lot of man-made stuff offshore in reservoirs, because mostly what I'm looking for is old bridges, foundations, old railroad trestles, where they stack the stones up. You know how they stack the stones up. I look for road beds, and I look for stuff that's still got solid concrete parts to it. Those things are very, very productive. There's certain lakes, like the glacier lakes and the natural lakes, they're not going to have man-made stuff unless somebody's sinking brush piles. I will say this: brush piles are money everywhere you go, but they're all not created equal. So with brush pile fishing, depth range is the critical component. Because if the bass want to be in a certain depth range, only those brush piles are going to be higher percentage. I won't say they'll be the only ones holding fish. They're just going to be a higher percentage of catchability. And then of course, anytime you're structure fishing, thermocline is like the key.
Oh, it was 106 yesterday in Oklahoma. I went out with Juice, and we're doing a little crappie fish this weekend. I mean, a hard thermocline. Yeah,
so I'm so glad you brought that up, because yesterday I found the thermocline in the lake that we were fishing, and it was 23 feet deep. And it was the coolest thing, because it was just forming. And so it looked thin and thick and thin and thick. It wasn't a good band, yet. It was just thin and thick. And I told my buddy, I said, B, get up here and look at this. Look at this. This is the beginnings of the thermocline, and it's in 23 feet. And so it was really cool to see it right in the beginning stages. But I can tell you in 2 weeks, that thermocline's going to be, it'll look an inch thick on the graph. But it was...
figure out what show we did where we did you had diagrams.
Yeah, it was the
everything. Well, no, not the thermocline, about breaking down a boat dock.
Oh crap, I remember
that was one of the best shows.
I don't remember which one it was, but I remember that.
So for 3 years we titled everything BTL Bass Talk Live Day 4, number 184 with Frank SCALISH.
I know. We were so dumb.
You weren't dumb. You had nothing to do with it. That was me. So one of my projects is to go back and keep the numbers the same, but to actually put what the hell we talked about in the show.
Don't we have a listener that did that already?
Yeah, Scott Turda.
He would have to know which show the Boat Dock show was. Unless he didn't start it back that
no,
early.
He has it for everything. I'm trying to, like 5 years ago, you did fishing grass during the summer, which is what we're doing next week. But that was show number 27.
Yeah, this is not. This is
Grass
not.
identification.
This is identification because I think it's important to know what vegetation you're looking at because then you'll understand how deep it's growing, bottom content, and stuff like that. Grass identification yesterday was the most. Yes, you can see it on FFS. That's how I found it.
You can watch the fish go in and out of the thermocline.
And they don't stay, they never go below it. I have not seen any game fish go below a thermocline.
They'll go like to it and kind of into it, especially if they're getting away from your minnow because they're being little
wieners.
Yes, when they're apparently scared of a 4-inch minnow for some reason, even though they're 5-pound bass.
Yeah, because they've only seen 40,000 of them.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest confusion. So hear me out. Can I go on this tangent?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so hear me out. So you bounce a jig on the bottom, you bounce a worm on the bottom, you bounce a lizard on the bottom. The bass have to eat it because it's so natural. If they tuned off to that stuff, they would literally not, they would starve to death. They have to do it. It's too natural looking. What's more natural looking than a minnow? So why are they running from it? Are they running from the action that we're putting on the minnow? Or are they running from the sound of all the transducers pinging at them? Because
my honest opinion is,
yeah, that's what I'm asking.
You know how sometimes you're just in a mood where you don't want to talk to anybody?
Yeah.
I honestly think that sometimes the fish are just in a mood where they're just like, I just don't want anything around me. I don't want to be around anything. I don't want to be bothered.
Except that bass are opportunistic predators, dude. If they get an easy meal over their face, they usually come and nip at it. I'm really confused by that because, dude, the other day I was on a lake. I threw every size minnow I had at them. They ran from them.
So I have not seen that unless it is on a fishery that is either small, and I know has a couple guys who fish it that are good. You know, there's a bunch of those around Oklahoma.
Yeah, we got a
million. Or it's like a table rock where those fish get chucked at by the same thing. So I think they're associating, and I've not seen it on muddy water fisheries. It's almost all visual fisheries with cleaner water on it where you see them shoot from it. So I think it's a combination of pressure combined with the sonar ping, the sound of the minnow hitting the surface, because that's a massive indicator of pressure. When the minnow hits the surface, does the fish go, I want to eat that? Or does it go, oh crap, let's get out of here? And how recently those fish have been pressured.
Yeah.
I think even if you haven't caught those fish, like if you're this is just, I have no idea if this is accurate, but I'm
agreeing with everything.
I feel like an entire school can learn to avoid that by watching a couple fish in that school get smoked and then released back into that school, whether it's the pheromone or the fear, whatever they're putting back in. Like, that's why you see a lot of guys who believe in releasing fish away from the school and things like that. So I think that it's a combination of things. That's not like they're consciously thinking, oh, that's a minnow, but I think it's just something that they're going, danger.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because I was astonished. Like, they didn't just ignore it. They ran from it.
And they're not, and they don't do it. I've never seen them do it when they're actively feeding. So on the same lake where you could have 9 out of 10 fish run from your minnow when they're in groups of 1, the more you get and the more active they are, the less that happens. You can be on the most highly pressured lake, and now you're talking about windows of opportunity and feeding windows where they get on the bait, they're slashing through the bait, and their caution goes to the wind because now they're trying to compete against something else, another fish to get it.
Yeah.
So the same fish that is terrified of it and swims away, 30 minutes later, under different circumstances,
will eat it with reckless abandon.
Eat it with reckless abandon.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But like I said, I was astonished because I'm like, what's more natural than that? You know what I mean? And then I even went tiny, lightest weight possible. I went biggest possible, and then I went paddle tails. And then I swam the paddle tails almost like a swim bait. I had one come up and look at the paddle tail and then bolt away from it. And so I was like, this is this is crazy town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never, and here I've only been scoping now for what, 4 or 5 years.
Less than that.
Less than that. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. I could get them. I could get a fish to go, and I could not get these fish. Wouldn't stay near. They were gone.
Yeah.
Like,
So the one thing that you haven't mentioned, and I'm by no means saying that I am a Drew Gill of live scoping or no. I feel like I know what the hell I'm talking about.
You're better than me by a long shot. So
I'm confident in saying I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the minnowing and bite stuff, and I got a lot of time on the water. If I'm experiencing fish that are not reacting to it, and we're talking mainly open water fish, not in a schooling scenario, not on bait, but fish that for the first couple years were one hitter quitters, and now they're no hitter. The best way that I've found, and I think of it as like punching a heavy jig through a mat and getting a reaction bite or something, is to go small and heavy. So if I'm throwing a 3/16 with a 5-inch minnow or an 1/8 on a 6-inch minnow or something, I will go 1/4 on a 4-inch minnow or 3/8 on a 5-inch minnow,
and just let it.
And I will cast it way past the fish, as far past it as I can, and then I'm going to get it up to it. I'm going to open the bail and I'm going to drop it right to that fish. And these are the fish that are scattering, right? Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how many times you're still going to have them that's scared, but that same fish that if it has time to look at it, see it, it comes down, you cast past it, you present it, quote, properly, is going to peel off and not eat it or dive down to the bottom, will just, you can tell it's an instinct thing.
Just react to it.
I'm just dropping it straight, casting it way out, getting it down, boom, 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 drop, boom. They'll just react to it and smoke it.
Damn. Okay.
And it's overweighted. I mean, there's not really rocking it. You're not doing anything. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And here's the other thing. If you're getting a lot of opportunities at those fish, you have to think, okay, you're going, oh, they're not eating the minnow and they're running from it. It's because we're looking at it on forward-facing sonar and we're able to see the fish that's down there, its mood, and that it's turning it away. You have no idea when you're throwing a fat boy down a bank with laydowns rocking on a riprap, how many fish are going like this and scattering off and all that. And it's, let's say you catch 3 down it, you're like, oh, they're on a fat boy. But you don't know if the first 15 that you put that fat boy past went, oh, crap, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And you have no drop in confidence at it. You don't know how many times when you're just flipping into a lay down, a fish goes root down and then freaking bolts. You're just getting that bite. That's why it seems like this knot. So you have to kind of figure out a ratio too. So it might be you have 20 that turn away from it and 1 that swims right up and freaking smokes it. So you're at a 5% conversion rate. Well, I mean, if you're casting at them and there's fish here and there, you cast at 100 of them, you catch 5 good ones. You go down any other bank where you're blind fishing and you catch 5 3 to 5 pounders, you're like, dude, they're freaking on the buzz bait, the spinner bait, the crankbait, or whatever. Right. You don't know what your conversion rate is. It's just different with that minnow with forward facing because you know what your conversion rate is.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good job out of you, Matt.
Like on the highly pressured big fish lakes in Oklahoma, it's gone from 60 to 70% of interest try to bite it and stuff to 40% to 30% to 20%. Like,
yeah.
And it's not that you're, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's, was the fish in a feeding mood? Did I present the bait correctly? And was it in an attitude where it wanted to eat it? And you know that you're going to have 10 opportunities. Like some days you go out and it's still 50, 60, 70%. I don't know whether that's barometric pressure, feeding zones, time, rain,
right.
Like, all. But as a general rule, you know that if you see 10 over 7, 8 pounds, you're going to shot at 1 or 2 of them maybe.
Yeah. And I can tell you factually that yesterday we were throwing to a lot more fish than we probably caught.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I throw sometimes, and sometimes I'm catching 5%, 2% of the fish that I'm throwing at.
Yeah, because
like you're assuming that it's turning away. Just that's fine if 90% turn away. If 10% react to it, don't get discouraged because it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. I mean, you're still converting, on one. If you're converting on 10%, that's 1 out of every 10. So then that's why you see a lot of the guys, Fothergill, Tucker Smith, high bypass move, be able to hit at 100 feet on the freaking go, cover water, find fish. It's the same thing of cranking ledges and finding active schools of feeding fish that it is. Like that's why when you're like, oh my God, it was a crazy day, all you're saying is that your conversion rate was higher than it normally is, or you found something that was good. That's what the urchin is. It's a high conversion rate right now, but that'll drop too.
Yeah, it will.
Just like anything else. So don't get discouraged if you're like, oh, they're turning away from it. 95% of the shit that I cast at turns away from it on an average basis.
Yeah. So yesterday was the no scope day. I used scope to find the right type of grass. That's all I used it for. Now I did see some fish, but it was blowing like 20 miles an hour. So it was real hard to keep the boat pointing in the direction I needed to be, because the minute that my foot came off the trolling motor for any reason, we were 30 feet farther back. And so it was a really tricky deal. And I had gone down this one stretch and I picked a couple up on the 1/2-ounce jig. I think Brandon caught one on the Ned, and then I caught a couple on the Nico, and I picked up my fat-free shad, number 7, to run it on the outside edge of this where it got scattered. I had 2 on and lost them because of the grass, and then I made another cast and I caught one, and I'm like, I could probably run this crankbait through a lot of the stuff and catch fish we didn't catch the other ways we were fishing. And that would have been no fun for Brandon, because you had to be at the right angle. But the reality of it is I could have probably put a few more fish in the boat yesterday. But we were catching enough where it really wasn't, and the size difference wasn't there. Like if I caught a 5 or a 6 on a crank, I would have been cranking the whole day, because I would have went for the big limit. But they were all between that 1.5 pound and 2.5 pound range. And so it was like, nothing's showing me the better quality bite. So I just stayed with what I was doing because we were catching.
Nothing wrong with the numbers, Day.
No, God, no. And I'll take it. And I'll take the weather yesterday too, because it was 60 degrees, chilly, and I was loving every minute of it, man, because I can't stand the 100 degrees and 98 degree days. I hate them.
No, it's not.
They just wear me out. No, they wear me out, man.
What else you got for today? Well, yeah, this was a full-on bloviation.
It was a good day. So I showed my buddy the trailer watchdog thing yesterday, because I
we've gotten a ton of those,
dude. I picked them up, and I had, hey, don't eat that. My cat's eating twisty ties. So dumb. She's got a problem.
Which one, Bama?
No, Lenny. Come here, Lynn. Come here. Lenny stays with me everywhere I go. She's there. When I'm doing lures, I had to put an extra chair in my lure making room for her to sit in, because then she jumps on my lap and I can't paint or make lures with her on my lap. And when I do the podcast, she sits right next to my computer or at my feet. The problem is when I have props like these little soft plastic things, I cannot let her near them, because you see, I can't let her near them because she wants them. And so I have to wrap everything up and put it in a drawer so she doesn't get it. Like the other day, Matt, I was spooling a spinning rod with a 12-pound braid.
Okay.
I'm in the basement. I'm spooling it up with 12-pound braid. I set it down so the handle's on the floor, the rest of the rod's laying over a shelf, and then I can pull the braid and do my FG knot.
Okay.
I'm doing my FG knot and I feel like I got one, right? And so I look, she's got the braid from my spinning reel in a knot this big around her face. She's chewing on the braid, and I had a
not good.
No, it's not good. I don't and she's chewing on my computer now. So I don't understand what's wrong with her, but she's a good girl. Anyhow, where were we?
We were talking about it again. What if you were to just do like when it comes to the Nico and the Minnow, like when it comes to the Nico, run through the sizes that you're using on your weights, and then also do it for your minnows too.
Okay, so on the Nico, I'm going 1/16, 3/32. Rarely do I go more than an eighth, because the eighth, it's too much like a jig worm. It just drops, and I don't want that. But if it's real windy, you may have to, or if you're rigging it weedless and you're fishing brush piles, you'll have to go heavier. On the minnows, believe it or not, on the minnows, I'm probably 80% 1/8 ounce, and then the rest is 3/16. I just find that if I have the opportunity with the 1/8 ounce, I'm getting more bites on it, whether it's a 5-inch minnow or a 3.5-inch minnow. If I go to the 3/16, it better be windy where the wind's helping me keep the bait up, because I have a hard time keeping the heavier weight with no wind stationary. And that's just my technique.
Which is a 3/16 for those, if you're doing the minnow, that's a 5 gram, 5.2 gram is a 3/16.
I'm watching my cat now play with all my Bandit 100s and 200s.
Are there hooks on them?
Yeah, they're in the packages. She's biting the packages and picking them up.
Cat's bored. All right. Well, that was a good show.
Let me try this.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, what's up? What's up? Are you even allowed to show those baits?
Well, they're there's something for the future.
Will they be shown on next week's show?
I'm not next week. Oh. I don't know when they're going to be available, to be honest with you. I've had them up here for 2 months.
Go ahead, answer this one, then I'll answer.
Oh my gosh.
What's a good nail weight that's not garbage? A tungsten nail weight or any of the stuff, you can just buy them at Bass Pro. Those are at their little overpriced. I use them in a tournament scenario. I don't like the really big giant lead ones. Like sometimes they have those that they're
so fat.
They're so fat like that. Like the VMC like that. Honestly, I also then, if I'm just screwing around, will actually just use a legitimate nail as my weight. Like with the sharp end, cut it off, clip it, and you're paying $5-6 for nail weights that fly out. You lose your bait, all that. There's no need for that. I will actually use a nail.
Yeah. So what I did was I had poured a bunch of weedless.
We getting a drawing?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. So I had poured a bunch of weedless Ned heads, and what I wound this drawing's shit, but what I wound up doing was I cut the hook off, and then I hand tied a screw lock on it.
That sounds like a lot of work, Frank.
It took me no time at all. It took me more time to cut them all the hooks off of them, to be honest with you. And I did that because they're real skinny. They're not fat mushroom heads. They're real skinny. And so I just did 3/32 and 1/16 because that's what I use the most. And I did that because I have a million nail weights, and unfortunately for me, I made a purchase a couple weeks ago, and I bought some lead ones that I could trim and cut, and they're too fat, and I don't like the distortion at the bottom of the worm.
There's a bunch of companies that make them. It's different. This is this is the style that I like for when you're jamming it inside. Just something like that with the nail weight. You can go VMC, you can go tungsten, you can go whatever you want.
Yeah, and those stay in pretty good.
Yeah.
They stay in.
That's really how I like for the internal. Then what was I showing you before? That was like
now here. Look, you could take those nail weights and you could push them in, and then right when they're at the bottom of the worm, push them in farther so they're not sticking out, and then put a drop of super glue in the hole that it made, and they won't come out.
Yeah, and then for the exterior ones, just something like that.
Yeah.
Super, super easy.
Very easy. It's not complicated. In fact, it's probably, I think the most issues guys are going to have is finding the right rod setup for it, because like I went 100% on it yesterday. I didn't.
What rod were you using?
I was using a 764 medium fast tip Powell.
But were you throwing a casting or a spinning?
Spinning rod.
Okay. Yeah, that's about it. That's about right.
Yeah, and because when I load up on them, just the first quarter of the rod flexes, and then I'm right into the meat of the spinning rod.
Yeah, I'm with you on the lead. That's why I say, I mean, if that's a bugaboo for you, you got to go with the tungsten. It's the only thing that's dead set heavy enough to keep it. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I do too. I just don't like the price of the tungsten. That's why I put the screw locks on the flattest mushroom head I could find, and they're flat, dude. They don't even stick out.
Yeah. Well, we gotta fire it back up after this. Whoa, that came in way too hot.
Coming in hot.
Fire it back up after this. Do we have the new logo yet? No, we don't. That's not it.
For crying out loud.
I think we still have that logo. All right. Well, this has been another edition of Day 4.
Yeah, that's who I was fishing with yesterday, by the way.
What are you talking about?
Now I know where that picture came from.
What picture? I was trying to show the new Day 4 logo. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank SCALISH. We'll be back next week.
Dude, I was a
for
chick
252. See ya. That's the wrong one. There's the right one. Later.
Oh, you're batting 1,000.